Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy J Rock. Today I'm gonna be hitting you with another comic review. We're doing a trade as we usually do on this channel. It's rarely one single issue. So today we're gonna be reviewing Venom versus Carnage. This piqued my interest because it has Crane's art, Clayton Crane's. His art is wicked. It's second to none. It's you know what? I spoke too soon. It might not be the number one best, but it's up there for me for sure. And you have Peter Milligan on writing, who he's a writer I tend to like. What I've read of his is pretty solid. So I thought, Spider-Man, Peter Milligan, Clayton Cranes seemed like a no-brainer. Decided to check this out. It's a 4-issue miniseries, about 100 pages, so it's a quick read. So let's get a little bit into the story. I'm gonna tell you what I thought about it. It starts off with Carnage and Venom fighting over Venom saying he's Carnage's father. I guess the symbiote of Venom is the symbiote of Carnage's father, right? As in the old 90s comics, Carnage came through to fruition and whatnot through the Venom symbiote. So that makes sense, okay. And but the host, who's the person who's Venom and the person who's Carnage, they're not related in any way. It's the two symbiotes that are related. So in the symbiote world, I'm gonna have to read up on more Spider-Man, as it is with most comics. They're very complicated, a lot of backstories, a lot of history, basically a lot of baggage that you gotta go back and refer to kind of know what's going on sometimes. And these first pages is no different. When it starts off, you're kind of like, okay, it turns out Carnage is having a kid, another symbiote. So you're like, okay, so how do symbiotes reproduce and whatnot, right? So that's the first question you ask yourself. I don't know how he reproduced or whatever, but the point is he's basically kind of like pregnant or whatever. He needs to pass. He's gonna have another symbiote. So I'm like, I haven't read the Venom storyline where Carnage appears in a long time. I don't even really. I remember the symbiote going to Cletus Cassidy's blood, I believe. So, anyways, I don't know how it is. He's gonna have an offspring, but he is. So they start off where they're fighting and so forth. After their fight, Venom ends up in the Hudson River somewhere, right? Carnage obviously wins the fight, tosses Venom into the river. And this art looks wicked right here. It almost looks like a horror vibe to me. The story's not really that much of a horror, but when Venom is crawling out of the Hudson River, barely, fighting for his life and whatnot, they gave me a very eerie, creepy vibe. This whole squabble and whatnot. So after this whole squabble, Carnage bumps into this police officer because the police and everybody show up because everything that happened during this whole fight, a lot of things got destroyed and so forth. So there's this officer, Pat Milligan. Carnage talks to him, and I guess somehow while he speaks to him, he tells him, "You're gonna be the host for my kid." So I guess he's using that officer's body to grow symbiote in there, right? So there's gonna be like the next Carnage, little baby Carnage, right? Baby Carnage Jr. or something. So the police officer, fearing for his life. You're seeing Carnage right up in front of you. You're gonna be terrified, right? That's something that traumatized some people. And Carnage here is drawn freaking sick. He looks. This is probably the best looking Carnage I've seen from any artist. This Clayton Crane was born to draw Carnage. I don't like his Venom that much. I found him. There's something about it I didn't like him. I found him too bulky, too weird and off-putting. But the Carnage was a match made in heaven. Carnage and Clayton Cranes. And he definitely gives him a horror vibe too to Carnage. He's very scary looking, very eerie. Almost reminds me of a Freddy Krueger for some reason. With the big claws and the burnt face. So, anyways, and then he's cracking jokes and whatnot, which is another thing. I don't remember Carnage being funny back in the days. I remember being kind of evil and sadistic. Venom was kind of goofy and funny, which he is in this book. I don't remember Carnage being that way. And here, Carnage is like that too. So it has a lot of comedic arguments between the two, like a father and son arguing. So after we get through all that, you find out Felicity being Black Cat. She's in this the same place where all these cops are. She had just finished robbing some art, a painting or something. So so that's crazy. She's right here where all these cops are, and she's trying to be not around cops. We see her in her in her amazing costume, and she's drawn amazing as she should, because she's in the comic she has a reputation for looking amazing. And man, that costume, most women in comics are good looking, but then she's wearing this specific outfit that just puts her heads and heels about it above everybody else, right? So she's right there, and she ends up getting caught by this same police officer. Same police officer, Pat Milligan. He's talking to her and so forth. He goes back home, and after he's telling his wife about how, well, you don't know the crazy shift I had today at work, man. Shit was bonkers. So he's telling his wife about all this, and Venom, bam, smashes through the window. Goes, I'm here to save you. They're scared of him because, the way he looks. They're being biased. They're being biased. Give him a chance to explain itself. Get a chance to know the guy. So anyways, they're scared. He says, I'm actually here to save you. There's this guy that's going to come here to kill you because Carnage wants to kill his offspring. So he wants to kill Pat Milligan, the police officer. Carnage shows up again there right in time to kill him. And he says, see, the two monsters start fighting and so forth. This whole time, Spider-Man's been following them and been keeping an eye on them. So he jumps into action to help as well. So all this story was pretty linear. There wasn't a lot of meat on them bones, if you know what I'm saying. But it was all to introduce this new character named Toxin. So he's half of Venom's offspring and half of Carnage's. So he has some similarities to Venom and some similarities to Carnage, which the character design was it was okay, but it didn't look like anything new. It looked too much like Carnage and Venom. But I guess it was meant to, because it's their offspring. It has to look like them, right? So where this things went sideways for these guys here was that they planted this symbiote in a police officer that's good at heart. He just wants to make the world a better place and so forth. So he uses this newfound power to fight crime, and he ends up befriending Spider-Man. So naturally, Venom and Carnage weren't having that, so they're out there trying to kill him. They're like, he's better off there. Let's get rid of him, and we'll go back to killing each other later. Right now, let's get rid of this guy. And, Spider-Man comes to help him and so forth. Hence where they build a friendship. And it looks like we're getting it kind of looks like we're getting a new superhero introduced to the Marvel Universe. I don't know much about this character, Toxin. It's a nice first introduction, nice origin story. Wasn't anything too complicated. You didn't need to know much about the Marvel Universe and whatnot, but I kind of wanted to know how the hell Carnage was planning to, why was he pregnant and so forth. I felt like I started a story halfway, but that usually happens with comics. You always feel like you're starting in the middle of a story that's already going on. So overall, it was an okay, easy read, nothing mind-blowing, fairly simple, but the artist was going to keep you there. It's going to keep you wanting to read the rest of the story, just to flip through the panels and look at this gorgeous art by Cranes. Milligan himself, he seemed like he didn't, the writer, he didn't seem like he put too much effort into it. They just told him, introduce this new character, and he just made a story that was pretty linear, straightforward. All in all, is it a must read? I feel like if you're a fan of continuity and so forth, you kind of have to read it so you can know where this character came from. But other than that, if we're going on quality, it must read because it was so great. Not really. It was easily skippable if you wanna talk about how great the story was. So all in all, that's about it. That's about the gist of it. Hope you like what you saw here. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way it'll keep you updated on your feed for my next videos. And if you've read this before, let me know what you thought about this story yourself. And let me know, even if you haven't read this, I'm going to be showing pictures of the artwork. Let me know what you think about this art, because I find it very, it's off the chain, just in simplest terms. Yeah, just let me know in the comment section, and that's about it, guys. I'll check you out next time.